Hello, and welcome to the campus of Avon High School. My name is Lec Zorn, and I'll be bringing you all the action as your Avon Orioles challenge the Fishers Tigers in Week 6 of the Indiana high school football season. Well, last night in the varsity game up at Fishers, your first-ranked Orioles had a scare going down 14-0 in the first quarter before turning it on and ending the game by scoring the last 35 points, winning by a score of 35-14, improving their record to 6-0 and likely to remain at number one in the AP poll for a fifth consecutive week next week. And now we're going to get a look at the future of these programs here in the JV game. The time of day is 9:59. It's a beautiful late September morning here in Avon, 71 degrees under a mostly clear sky. We got the sun out. It's supposed to be a high of 86 today, and in fact, we're supposed to have highs in the late and in the upper 80s and low 90s from today through Wednesday. Before a high of 75 on Thursday and a high of only 66 and low of 46 next Friday, on which day we will play Westfield here at Avon for our third home game of the season as we kick off the last third of the regular season. So now we're getting ready to start the game. They play 10-minute quarters here in JV ball. Fishers to kick off the game. We have two players back deep to receive for the Orioles. Looks like they're going to start right on the dot at 10 o'clock. And fielded on at a hop around the 2 right up to the 15, 20, 25, 30, and knocked out of bounds around the 35. That was Blake Fincher there on the return for the Orioles. He is a freshman, 6'1", 165. Good size for a freshman. Probably ought to bulk him up a little bit, but the 6'1" certainly very encouraging. So now the Orioles line up with two receivers to the left, one to the right. Quarterback in shotgun. The running back in there is Eli Lathery. He's also played a little varsity ball this year. Played a little bit in the Ben Davis game, that huge win over Ben Davis back in week 2. And now handoff on a sweep. And now he fumbles. And Fisher recovers. And so I'll tell you, don't necessarily panic, because last night we actually started off, Henry Hessen, right after Avon went down 7-0 with Fisher scoring on the first possession. Henry Hessen on the ensuing drive fumbled, and Fisher's recovered in the red zone and converted it to a quick touchdown, taking a 14-0 lead. However, they would not score again. And then Avon scored the next 35 points to close out the game. So now three receivers to the left, one to the right for Fishers, and one running back, quarterback in shotgun. And now handoff, and he's brought down immediately. Right around I think they're going to get him for a slight loss. That was Josh Thompson rushing for the Tigers. And they got him... they got him for, it looks like a 2-yard loss there. Bringing up second down for the Tigers. So now three receivers to the left, one to the right. Handoff, fakes the handoff. This time quarterback takes it around the right side, and he swung around. He did about 2 360s before being thrown out of bounds. That was Lucas Pruitt, who actually briefly played in the varsity game last night when starting quarterback Marcus Rue went down with an injury there in the third quarter. Pruitt finished out the possession, only threw one pass. It was an incompletion. He looked good on that keeper, though. Give him credit for 5, so it'll bring up 3rd and 7 for the No, he didn't get quite as good a spot as I thought. But anyway, screen pass is complete. But he catches it, but he loses his balance and falls down and pounds the turf in agony.
Loss of 2 is going to bring up 4th and 9 for the Fisher Tigers.
So the pass was complete. That was to that was to Thompson as well. So now Tigers are going for it as they are at the Avon 39. And now quarterback, he throws down the middle, and it is not even close to anyone. The Pruitt. So Lucas Pruitt, just a desperation throw. Didn't it come even in the vicinity of anybody. So now Avon takes over for the second possession. So no harm from that fumble. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Quarterback in shotgun, 1 running back. Hands off there. And he's got a hole there. Some room over on the right side, and he takes it up. He looks like he's got to get the first down. That was Fincher, also at the kickoff return. They give him credit. I thought he had the first. They give him credit for 8 nevertheless. So now, handoff there to, and who was that? Yeah, that was Fincher again. So the Fincher gets 5 there, so Blake Fincher, the go-to guy early for the Orioles. .724. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Quarterback in shotgun. Fincher, the running back, takes it, gives it to Fincher again, and this time he twists his way up for a 2 or 3. J.D. Sherrod is the quarterback for Avon. He is a freshman. It's 3 for 17 for Fincher so far. And now fakes the handoff, and a keeper there by Sherrod, and he's got the first down, takes us up to about the 31.
Off to the right side, picking up the first down. It's going to be 1st and 10 on the Avon 32.
So Sherrod, off to a good start with his first keeper of the game. Gets the first down. So now, handoff to Fincher again. He's got some room over on the right side, and he's inside the 20.
Handoff to number 28, Blake Fincher off to the right side. It's going to be another Oriole first down.
So they give him. He's going to get about 14 yards on that play. So I have Fincher 4 for 31 in this very young game. So now, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Fincher, the running back. Sherrod in shotgun. Takes a snap. And now handoff again to Fincher, and he's up there inside the 15, up to about the 14. So they give him credit for 5. So far, the Tigers have not shown that they can contain Fincher, so why not keep going with him? I'll tell you, for Sherrod, he probably likes that he's 2 years behind the current varsity starter, Henry Hessen, because that means Sherrod will have 2 years of eligibility after Hessen graduates and moves on to college ball. And now, handoff to Fincher again, and he's all the way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they made it look easy. Blake Fincher, 6 carries, 50 yards on that drive, and scores with 4:58 to go here in the first quarter. And now extra point attempt. 14-yard run by Fincher. And now Sherrod also doing the holding here. And the extra point is up, and it is good. So just like that, just a little over halfway through this first quarter in this Saturday morning JV game, your score, Avon 7, Fisher 0. And, so great job in both cases, both the varsity game last night and the JV game this morning, in recovering from an early lost fumble in your own territory. That was Carson Holmer, by the way, on the extra point. So now Holmer to kick off. We got 2 Tigers back deep to receive.
Carson Holmer back deep to receive for Fishers. Number 45,
Dominic Oliverio and Josh Thompson back deep to receive for the Tigers. Fielded just in front of the end zone up to the 15, 20, 25. So decent return there by the Tigers. And they take over on offense, 4:52 to go. Their first possession, they took over in Avon territory on a fumble recovery on Avon's, on the first play from scrimmage of the game. However, the Tigers got a combined -1 yards of offense on the drive, which actually reminds me of a defensive possession for Avon last night when they had taken the lead, and early in the fourth quarter, Fishers had a drive in which quarterback Marcus Rue completed a pass on 3 plays, but they went for a combined -1 yard. So that was an incredible defensive stand there by Fishers. So now a handoff there, and Avon's got Fishers has a first down and more up to about and he's moved past midfield up to about the 45. So they're going to mark him for a gain of about 27 yards. Who had that run for Fishers? 45. Okay, thanks. So that was Dominic Oliverio with a 27-yard run there for the Tigers. The first time Fishers has gotten a first down in this game. So 1st and 10 at the Avon 44, and now we got play whistle dead, 4:27 to go here in the first quarter. Well, last night really was after Avon got off to a sluggish start, and it's offsides on Avon, so 5 free yards for the Tigers, so they got first and five at the Avon 39. So now Fishers sends Colin McPeak out to the left, and let's see, I believe that's Justin Sharkey to the left, and hold on. And now handoff there, and he's brought down for about 2 yards over on the right side. That was Oliverio again, so that's going to be 2nd and short. They only give him credit for 1. I thought he'd get a little bit better of a spot than that, but anyway. So 2nd and 4 for the Tigers. Avon leading 7-0. And really, last night when Avon, they got off to a sluggish start, but the second quarter they started recovering, and in the second half it was a sheer A+ half for the Orioles. They outscored Fishers 28-0. So now, some miscommunication there on the screen pass. Pruitt looked like he was trying to hit McPeak there, but obviously the two are not on the same page. So Lucas Pruitt 1 for 3 so far in this young game. 3:43 to go here in the quarter. So 3rd and 3 for the Tigers. 3rd and 4, excuse me. So we got McPeak now to the right. Another receiver to the left. Pruitt under center. Takes back. Hands off there to, and now Oliverio's spins around. He's got the first down and more. He's inside the 30. That's about that's an 8 or 9 yard gain there by Dominic Oliverio. And they're marking it at the 29. So Oliverio definitely the bright spot for Fishers so far in this game. So 1st and 10 for Fishers at the 29. We got McPeak lined up to the right, another receiver to the left. Oliverio, the running back. Pruitt under center. Takes a snap, gives it to Oliverio. He plows forward and gets some help from his line and gets up about 4 or 5 yards. So each team with the one go-to running back early on. For Avon, it's Fincher. For Fishers, it's Oliverio. Fincher scored a touchdown last time. Let's see if Oliverio repeats as he picks up 5 that time. I have him 4 for 42 now with a long of 27. So now we got McPeak to the left, Brady Miller to the right, Oliverio, the running back, and Pruitt under center. Pruitt takes it, hands it to Oliverio, head down, plows forward, and he's going to get about 3 yards. So it'll bring up 3rd and short for the Tigers. It's a very pleasant Saturday morning here in the lovely community of Avon, a west suburb of Indianapolis. So Oliverio gets 2 there. So now McPeak out to the right, and we got 3 receivers out to the left. Very aggressive formation. Pruitt in shotgun, takes it, and immediate screen pass. Oh, but it's just again for the second time on this drive, it looks like there was some miscommunication between Pruitt and McPeak. Obviously, something they need to work on in practice. So Pruitt 1 for 4 here in the first quarter. The Tigers are going for it on 4th and 3. They went for it last time on 4th down and failed. No, they're going for a field goal. Excuse me. This is a 39-yard field goal attempt there. Very long for JV. So now, let's see. And there's some movement at the line. And let's see who it goes against. The kicker, by the way. So it's offsides against Avon. Maybe that's what Fishers was trying to, draw. But it does result in a first down for the Tigers. So if that was their strategy, they worked. Patrick Belay was in there to attempt the field goal. He is a senior, 5'11", 150. You don't see a lot of seniors playing JV ball. But, of course, he could have just been in there as a decoy. So now we've got Brady Miller out to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Pruitt under center. 1 running back in there. And Pruitt, and he throws into the end zone, and he's got a man, but it's just off his fingertips. He was well covered. McPeak was the intended receiver. Nice coverage there by Timmy and Wellington there of Avon, bringing up 2nd and 10. Pruitt has completed only 1 of 5 passes so far. 10:18 your time of day. So now McPeak lining up to the right, Miller and one other receiver to the left. Oliverio, the running back. Hand off to Oliverio now, and he takes it past the 15 up to about the 13. It's going to be a pickup of about 5 yards for Oliverio. I have him 6 for 49, and I had Fincher 6 for 50 on Avon's last drive. He culminated that drive with a touchdown. Let's see if Fincher follows suit. Now 3rd and 5 at the Avon 12. So now McPeak out to the left, Miller and McPeak to the right, Miller and one other receiver to the left. Oliverio, the running back, and Pruitt under center. And he throws, and it's a bullet pass, and it's deflected. So that'll bring up 4th and 5. So now let's see, will they punt or will they go for it? This would only be a 29-yard field goal. They lined up for a 39-yarder. I'm not sure they intended to actually attempt it, but they lined up for it nevertheless, as Pruitt only 1 for 6 in this game. But yeah, so now a much more makeable 29-yard attempt, if that's what it is. 4th and 5 for the Tigers with 41 seconds to go here in the first quarter. It's a low snap, but they get up the kick, and it is good. So with 36 seconds to go in the first quarter, the Fishers gets their first score, cutting the lead to 7-3 here on AudioSportsOnline.com. This is week 6 of 9 of the regular season. Avon won the varsity matchup between these schools last night by a score of 35-14, scoring the last 35 points of the game. The two Fishers touchdowns actually came only a minute and 17 seconds apart in the first quarter. First, they scored a touchdown on their first possession of the game, and then Henry Hessen fumbled in the red zone on the ensuing. He fumbled on the ensuing possession, and Fishers took over in the red zone, and scored another quick touchdown. However, then Hessen played like a man on a mission the rest of the way. In fact, he completed a whopping 14 of 15 passes in the second half. Really, he and the team gave just an absolute A-plus performance. So Larry Stone and Blake Fincher back deep to receive for the Tigers. Or for the Orioles, excuse me. And now nice run there by Fincher, trying to get some room, taking it all over to the left side of the field, now up to the 30. So Fincher ran about 60 or 70 yards to do about a 20-yard return. So what a great second, third, and fourth effort there by that young man, who's playing like he wants to join the number 1 ranked varsity Orioles in the very near future, like maybe the game next Friday right here against Westfield. So 25 seconds to go here in the first quarter at Avon. Van Fincher, only a freshman, 6'1", 165, so he's got plenty of time to continue improving. It'll be interesting to watch that young man grow up over the next couple of years. So now 2 receivers to each side. Fincher, the running back. And now, throw deep down the right side. He's got a man open. And it's deflected. That was the first pass of the game by Sherrod. Liam, this is the junior varsity game between Fishers and Avon. So, now my son's talking to somebody on. My father is commentating a game here. Okay, hold on. But anyway, so 2nd and 10 now for the Orioles, and now a rush for about 2 or 3 yards there. That was Ethan Lathery with his first carry of the game. And that's the end of the quarter. So after 1 quarter of play here at Avon, your score in this JV football game, Avon 7, Fishers 3. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. McNamara Florist provides floral designs for all occasions that help its clients express their emotions through flowers and floral giftware. They have 7 locations for service in floral design or selecting home decor merchandise, including Christmas classics. They can also provide floral needs for weddings, home parties, or corporate functions. They can be contacted at 317-579-7900. That's 317-579-7900. Or by visiting their website at McNamaraFlorist.com. That's McNamaraFlorist.com. Reynolds Body Shop is a sponsor of Avon football broadcasts. They are located at 4325, that's 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone number is 317-243-2372, that's 317-243-2372, and they're open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. They've been family owned and operated for 30 years, working with individuals and insurance companies for collision repair. More information can be found at ReynoldsBodyShop.com. That's ReynoldsBodyShop.com. Well, back here at Avon, we're about to start the second quarter of this JV football game with your Avon Orioles leading the conference rival Fishers Tigers by a score of 7-3. All the scoring so far with 4:58 to go into the first quarter. Blake Fincher scored a touchdown on a 14-yard rush. Carson Holmer's extra point made it 7-0, and then with 36 seconds left in the quarter, Patrick Belay hit a 29-yard field goal for the Tigers. So 3rd and 10 now for the Orioles at their own 33. And now Sherrod drops back. He's got a man wide open. Oh, and he's going to take it. He's got one man to beat. Yes, he's got it. 67-yard touchdown pass to that was Brian Wooden there. So 13-3 with the conversion pending. Wow. So Wooden, who fumbled early, who fumbled on the first play from scrimmage of the game, redeems himself with a 67-yard touchdown reception there. That was Sherrod's first completion of the game. And now attempting the extra point, we've got Tyler Pelly for Avon. It is up, and it is good. So Carson Holmer kicked the first extra point. Now Tyler Pelly, the second one. So, last night, like I said, after Hessen lost that fumble, that set up the second Fishers touchdown. Hessen played like an absolute world beater the rest of the way, and he was just absolutely phenomenal in the second half. Like I said, completed 14 of 15 passes, and for the game, completed three touchdown passes to Carmelo Mitchell, another one to Joe Hall, and also completed 6 short passes in the second half to Cohen Morrell. Which, they only went for, I think, 53 yards, those 6 receptions by Morrell, but they helped to open some doors for other guys, so they were certainly very important parts of the game. So now a short kick fielded at the 18, brought up to the 25, 30, about the 32 or 33 there. That was Aiden Chavis on the return. He's a freshman for the Orioles, 5'11", 146. So 14-3 your score. Orioles, off to a great start here, scoring on the latter 2 of their 3 possessions. Now, Handoff there, and they're right on top of him. That was Josh Thompson there on the rush for the Tigers.
Run up the middle, met by a whole gaggle of Avon Orioles.
The PA announcer just got a big response by saying Thompson. The PA announcer here at Avon just said that that Thompson was stopped by a whole gaggle of Orioles. I'm not sure what a gaggle is, but certainly it provoked a few laughs here in the press box. So 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Pruitt to the quarterback. So now handoff there, and they're right on top of him. So now the Thompson, the first time he got back to the line of scrimmage. That time he didn't even do that.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 12 at Fisher's own 29-yard line.
So they got a loss of 2 there for Thompson. I have him 3 for -4 on the ground so far. 8:32 to go and counting here in the first half. Avon 14, Fishers 3. So now we got McPeak lined up to the left. Another receiver to the right for Fishers. This time Pruitt operating in shotgun. High snap, but he gets it. And now he's nearly sacked. He gets rid of it, and he just throws it away. Not even close to anybody. So Pruitt 1 for 7 in the game. It was a really interesting coincidence last night for Fishers in the second half. They're their starting quarterback, Marcus Rue, and then their leading running back, Dylan Scully, both went down with injuries in the second half, and each came back very quickly in the game. And I don't know if each was really at 100% or just felt like the coaching staff felt like they just needed those 2 guys in the game, even if they were less than 100%, if they were going to have a chance. And now fielded on a hop at the 36, right up to the 40, 45. And now goes back. So the nice return attempt there by Andrew Papa there. He had cost himself about 3 yards. Nevertheless, got about a 10-yard gain. He got up to the Avon 49, then went back to try to find some more room. Didn't find any. He only lost 2 yards after he got his best field position. So he got a slightly better spot than I expected. So now for the Orioles, we got James Griffith lined up to the right. He's another senior. 2 receivers to the left. Sherrod in shotgun. Handoff there, and he's plows his way forward for about 2 or 3 yards. That was Lathery there for the Orioles. Avon trying to put this one away. If they score a touchdown here, it will be a 3-possession lead. That would be very hard for Avon to overcome. So a 3-yard gain by Lathery brings up 2nd and 7. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Fakes the handoff, throws up the middle. He's got a man open. He makes the reception up to the 35, brought down at about the 30. That was Sam Shockley there. A 20-yard pickup there, the second completion by Sherrod on the game. I'll tell you, when I was a little kid, my next-door neighbors were Greg and Jeff Shockley. I wonder if he's related. I'll have to, that was down in Madison, Indiana, my hometown. I'll have to try to find Greg and Jeff on Facebook and see if that's their son. So anyway, now it's a sweep around the left side, inside the 20. That was Lathery there. It looks like it's going to be coming back, though. But that wouldn't be a stretch because, when I commentate Avon, I've commentated the 2 sons of my Madison classmate, Greg Weinger. His son Brayton graduated from Plainfield last year, and his Greg's other son, Jace, is now a junior for the Quakers. So that run's negated there by Lathery. Nevertheless, Avon still in good shape. 6:45 to go in the second quarter and a 14-3 lead. So 1st and 20 for the Orioles. We've got Griffith lined up to the left. To the right, excuse me. Yeah. So now fix the handoff, and we got a keeper there by Sherrod. Takes it over to the right, spins around, and he gets forward progress for about 4, I think. Nevertheless, it's going to be still very long, 3rd and 16. Sherrod's second keeper of the game. He got 4 on his first, also 4 on his second. So now Griffith to the right, and then we've got Ahmed Walker. He's a sophomore, lined up to the left, along with. Hold that thought. And now fakes the handoff, and now the pass is deflected. The intended receiver, I believe, was Aiden Chavis. Sherrod has only thrown 4 passes in this game, completed 2 of them, including the 67-yard touchdown to Wooden. Yeah, my son was talking. I think he was making a post on one of his social media pages. He doesn't know that much about football yet, and he was trying to describe what was going on. So I explained to him it was the JV game, the junior varsity game between Avon and Fishers. He also attended the varsity game with me last night. So now drop back by Sherrod, and did he make the catch?
Number 12 pass complete to number 3, Andrew Papa.
Yeah, Papa caught it, and he got the first down. He got just what he needed. Yes, well, what a great catch. Papa had to get down way low for that, but he pulled it in. That's a heck of a highlight reel material catch by JV standards. Of course, I've seen some darn good Avon JV plays the last 4 or 5 years. So now, Sherrod now throws into the end zone, and I think it might have been tipped a little bit, but it was intended for Chavis. But yeah, I think it might have gotten slightly tipped there at the line. And I apologize if you're getting much interference. I think the band is sounds like there's the band director, on the PA at the facility behind the football stadium here. Hopefully it's not causing any interference. So anyway, 2nd and 10 for the Orioles at their own 17, at the Fisher 17, excuse me. Now a handoff there to Lathery, and they're right on top of him. He might have just gotten back to the line of scrimmage. And Fisher's really trying to keep the Orioles from getting a touchdown here, because like I said, if Avon gets a touchdown here, it will be a 3-possession lead for the Orioles. That would be very hard for Fishers to overcome. And so they got Lathery for a 2-yard loss there. .446 to go and counting here in the second quarter. Fishers does get the ball first to start the second half. So now 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Sherrod pressured. He throws up the middle, and it is caught. It's going to be 4th and short there. That was Chavis there on the reception. He had to get, like Papa earlier on the drive, Chavis had to get down to make the catch, but he did it. Aiden Chavis there on the reception for 7 yards, bringing up 4th and 3. So each of the 4 receptions for Sherrod have been to a different receiver. So now Sherrod on 4th and 3, and he fumbles. not a harmful fumble because he wasn't gonna. They were gonna turn it over on downs anyway. But nevertheless, good break for the Tigers as the Orioles stall in the red zone. They do nevertheless sustain a long drive and keep Fishers off the field for several minutes. So now Fishers trying to make it a one-possession game before halftime here. 3:52 to go here in the second quarter. Your score: Avon 14, Fishers 3. Now fakes the handoff, and now throws very deep, but it's just overthrown. So we got a new quarterback in there, by the way, for Fishers. It is Jackson Preston. He is a sophomore, 6'2", 180, good quarterback size. After Lucas Pruitt, this junior, went 1 for 7 with the -2 yards passing. Boy, I'll tell you, this is nothing against any of these kids. I just hate this I hate this trend of the current generation where they have first names that traditionally have been last names. Drives me up the wall. So now Preston, now he looked like he wasn't sure what he wanted to do. He ended up getting tackled for a slight loss there. Yeah, so Jackson Preston, God, gee. Again, this is not a personal reflection on him, but I just hate that trend. Jackson's a last name, not a first name, So now 3rd and 11 for the Tigers there, and Preston screen pass. It is complete, but he only gets about 3 or 4 yards of it. And that was a short gain there by Dominic Oliverio, who did some nice things on the ground in the first quarter. So that's a 3-yard gain there by Oliverio. So now Justin Sharkey to kick off to punt for Fishers. It's a bad punt, and it bounces just inside the 30 and is downed by Fishers at the 26 or 27. So Avon starting in excellent field position with a chance to get that 3-possession lead after all here in the first half. So a change of quarterback so far doesn't make much difference for the Tigers. Fishers, though, is a great program. They've cooled off the last few years. They've gone 4-7 in 2 of the last 3 years, although they did win a sectional in between with a 7-5 record there in 2017. But they did win a state championship in Class 5A back in 2010, which was when it was only a 5-class system, and that's the only. Hold that thought. So now. Sherrod got a handoff. He got a new running back in there, and he gets up for about 3. That's okay. No, it's Fincher. So Fincher's back. So I apologize. Not a new one. Fincher picks up 3. He was 6 for 50 in the first half, including a touchdown. Picks up 3 on that one, and I think Avon's just going to take their time there. Certainly not in any hurry. So now we've got Joseph Sargent now to the left for the – no, I'm sorry, Ahmad Walker, excuse me. And now throws into the end zone, and we might have some pass interference there. No, we don't. There was some contact. Maybe it was ruled incidental. It's a close call there. Shockley, the intended receiver. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 7 for the Orioles. 1:33 to go, so 3rd and 7 now. So now let's see, we've got Ahmad Walker and Aiden Chavis lined up to the left now. We got Shockley and Griffith to the right. Fincher, the running back, Sherrod in shotgun. 3rd and 7 now for the Orioles. Takes a snap, fakes the handoff, throws into the end zone, and it's incomplete. Chavis was the intended receiver, but he was well covered. So Sherrod has completed 4 of 9. And there's an irony because last night in the varsity game, Henry Hessen completed 4 of 9 passes in the first half, but then 14 of 15 in the second half. It gave you just an extraordinary performance. So now Avon lining up for what would be a 40-yard field goal. Pretty long attempt for a JV game. And it is no good. Well, you know, it's one of those things, and that was Holmer, by the way. One of those things, though, it's a low-risk time to do something like that. You know, you got a 14-3 lead. You know, your opponent hasn't moved the ball particularly well. You're probably going to, win this game. Why not, see what kind of range this guy has, see how he responds in a game situation. So, that was probably an okay time to go for a to go for that kind of play. So anyway, 1:21 to go here in the first half here at Avon. 10:45 your time of day. Fisher's trying to get something going here before they head to the locker room. I think they have all 3 timeouts left. And now Pruitt back into the game. He dodges a sack. He keeps it himself, runs out of bounds. So nice move there by Lucas Pruitt. So he picks up about 5 yards there. So now it'll be, so good job by avoiding the sack and getting out of bounds. So Pruitt 2 for 8 on the ground now. 1:13 to go here in the first half. Fisher's trying to make it a one-possession game, which they will with any score. But they still got 75 yards to go. So 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And now pass up the middle. It's caught, but he's brought down for maybe just a gain of 1. So he should have just dropped that. And Oliverio on the reception, by the way. And we got a timeout here. So Lucas Pruitt has completed 2 passes that have gone for a total of -2 yards. So that'll be 3rd and 5 now for the Tigers. And there's a timeout here. I didn't see it charged to either team. It could be an official timeout. I don't know what the issue would be. But it seemed like it would be a logical time for the Tigers to take a timeout, though, with 1:04 to go here in the first half, and the Tigers really wanting to get some kind of momentum going. And especially, they get the ball first to start the first half. So even if they get the ball first to start the second half, so even if they just get a field goal here, it would be a one-possession game, and they would have a chance to tie with a touchdown and a 2 to start off the second half. So now for the Tigers, we got Joe Heatpus, and that's a new name to me, and Colin McPeak lined up. And now Pruitt throws over, and he made the catch, but I don't think he got a foot down, or did he? Yes, he did. Wow, that was a Marvin Harrison type move.
First down, Fishers on their own 37-yard line.
Who made that reception? So that was Brady Miller on the reception, by the way, and that was the longest passing play by the Tigers all game. And now we've got an official timeout here. So now Pruitt now throws deep, and he's got a man open, and it's caught there, and he could go all the ways inside. Yes, he does. Oh, my God, a sudden offensive explosion for Fishers. That was a 63-yard touchdown pass from Lucas Pruitt to what's the number of the guy who caught the pass? 22. Okay, from Lucas Pruitt, yeah, to Colin McPeak. So, wow. So after almost no offense the whole game by Fisher, suddenly they explode with the 12-yard pass to Fishers, 12-yard pass to Miller, and then the 63-yard pass to McPeak. Now going for the extra point. And it is up, and it is good. So big momentum shifting play for Fishers to get back in the game. And Boulay there on the extra point, by the way. Well, so sudden turn of events here. So look, just a couple of minutes ago, like Avon was starting to run away with it. They were down in the red zone with a chance to take a 3-possession lead, and now they're only up 14-10. And Fishers gets the ball first to start the second half. First and 10 at the 40. Christian Wayne kicking off for the Orioles, for the Tigers, excuse me, and fielded there just in front of the end zone. We got a flag here, and it's brought up to about the 32. Do have a flag. That was Wooden there on the return there. It's going to be coming back, though, holding against Avon. 40 seconds to go. So now with the Orioles now only leading by 4, I wonder if they do have all 3 timeouts. So it would not surprise me if they made, even with only 40 seconds, if they, made an effort to get a score here. With 40 seconds to go in the first half, it's going to be the Orioles taking over only at the 11. But, a couple of 20-yard gains in there, right in the thick of things, especially with all 3 timeouts, when that makes it easy for you to work the whole field rather than having to, rather than only throwing near the sidelines to try to get out of bounds. So now we've got Chavis, and another receiver out to the left, and then we got Griffith out to the right. And now Fincher in there at running back. And now fakes the handoff to Fincher. Screen pass is complete over to Shockley. And he's got the first down and more up to about the 24. So the clock will stop to move the chains with 25 seconds. No, they're not stopping it. It's they finally do with 20 seconds to go. So it's a 13-yard pickup. So now, throw deep down the left side. He's got a man open. Oh. So it's 6 seconds to go. The intended receiver there was Wooden, by the way, who had the touchdown earlier in the game, the 67-yarder. So time for one more play, maybe two. Sherrod 5 for 11 now, though he does have 123 yards and a touchdown with no interceptions. So now three receivers to the right, one to the left. Sherrod in shotgun. Drops back. Screen pass complete there, and he's got some room on the left side, and he gets up about to Fincher, and that's going to be it. So a wild and woolly first half with your Orioles hanging on to a 14-10 lead over the conference rival Fishers Tigers here on audiosportsonline.com. We'll be back with the first half recap and a look back to last night's varsity win after these words from our sponsors. State Bank of Liston has 11 locations in and around Hendricks County. Their 24-hour banking phone number is 317-994-5181. That's 317-994-5181. More information concerning hours, location, and career opportunities can be found at statebankofliston.com. That's statebankofliston.com. Liston spelled L-I-Z-T-O-N. That's L-I-Z-T-O-N. State Bank of Liston. For your home loan needs, contact American Mortgage. American Mortgage has been taking care of home loan needs since 1975 in 16 states. Call your local lender, Dave Peters, with branches in Avon, Carmel, Bloomington, and Greenwood. American Mortgage. Since 1954, McNamara Florist has been providing home, business, hospital, and funeral home deliveries of fresh arrangements and plants throughout the greater Indianapolis area, including Avon. They can be contacted at 317-579-7900. That's 317-579-7900. Or by visiting their website at McNamaraFlorist.com. That's McNamaraFlorist.com. Reynolds Body Shop is a sponsor of Avon football broadcasts. They're located at 4325. They're located at 4325. That's 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone number is 317-243-2372. That's 317-243-2372, and they're open from Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. They've been family-owned and operated for 30 years, working with individuals and insurance companies for collision repair. More information can be found at reynoldsbodyshop.com. That's reynoldsbodyshop.com. Well, back here at Avon, we're at halftime in this junior varsity football game with your Avon Orioles leading the Fishers Tigers by a score of 14-10. It's been a wild and woolly game of big plays and wild momentum swings. After Avon fumbled on their first play from scrimmage, and lost a fumble on the first play from scrimmage, in their own territory, Fishers turned the ball over on downs, and then on Avon's next possession, Blake Fincher scored a touchdown on a 14-yard rush, and Carson Holmer hit the extra point, making the score 7-0. Then, with 36 seconds to go in the quarter, Patrick Boulay hit a 29-yard field goal for Fishers, cutting the lead to 7-3. Then on the first play of the second quarter, freshman quarterback J.D. Sherrod threw a 67-yard touchdown pass to Brian Wood, and Tyler Pelly this time kicked the extra point, making the score 14-3. And then after the Orioles were on the verge of a 3-possession lead and turned the ball over in the red zone late in the quarter, Fisher's offense finally got on track on a 63-yard touchdown pass from Lucas Pruitt to Colin McPeak, and Belay's extra point brought us to our current score of 14-10. Look at the individual statistics. First of all, for your Avon Orioles, J.D. Sherrod has completed 6 of 12 passes for 142 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions. Brian Wooden has 1 reception for 67 yards and a touchdown. Sam Shockley has 2 receptions for 33 yards. Blake Fincher has 1 for 19. Andrew Papa, 1 for 16. And Aiden Chavis, 1 for 7. On the ground, Blake Fincher leads the way with 7 rushes for 53 yards and a touchdown, while J.D. Sherrod has 3 for 6. Ethan Lathery, 3 for 1. And Brian Wooden, 1 for 0. Meanwhile, for Fishers, Lucas Pruitt has completed 4 of 10 passes for 73 yards and 1 touchdown, while Jackson Preston has completed 1 of 2 passes for 3 yards. On receiving, Colin McPeak has 1 reception for 63 yards and a touchdown, while Brady Miller has 1 reception for 12 yards. Dominic Oliverio has 2 for 3, and Josh Thompson has 1 for -2. And finally on the ground, Dominic Oliverio has 6 rushes for 49 yards, while Lucas Pruitt has 2 for 8. Josh Thompson has 3 for -4, and Jackson Preston has 1 for -1. So basically, Avon hasn't had an outstanding game, but they've had a good game. Just had a little trouble finishing drives, and if they take care of that in the second half, if they don't leave any points out on the field and don't commit any turnovers, I think they are going to hang on and win this game, and probably by multiple possessions. So now with 3:50 to go in the half, let's talk a little bit about last night's varsity game. Avon entered the game as the number 1 team in the state for the 4th consecutive week. However, they were playing a very formidable opponent, Fishers, who entered the game ranked number 9. They started off 4-0 and ranked number 6 before last week's loss here in Hendricks County at Brownsburg. And last night they started off like they planned to pull off the upset after scoring on their first possession and looking fairly impressive in doing so. Then Henry Hessen fumbled on the ensuing drive, and the Tigers took over at the Avon 17, scored a quick touchdown. So in a span of a minute and 17 seconds in the first quarter, they took us 14-0 lead. However, they did not score again the rest of the game. Avon did not make an immediate recovery. They started quickly playing with a lot of urgency, and then had a good but not great second half. Had a good but not great second quarter, and then in the second quarter they played absolute A-plus ball. I don't recall one mistake at all in the second half, and they just totally came and dominated and played like they're the number 1 team in the state, winning the second half margin by a score of 28-0. And keep in mind, it was it was the number 9 team in the state, doing it at their place, and it was just total domination. So you can imagine what we would have been doing against some ordinary team. So it was a great comeback. And while I don't like that we got a little sloppy in the first half, enabling Fishers to take that 14-0 lead, I do like that now we know we can come back from a multiple possession deficit. One thing I've seen over the years is sometimes when teams, haven't had to play from behind all year, and they get in that position, they don't respond well to it. I remember going back to the Colts, the year that they, in 2005, when they started off 13-0 and rarely were behind at all. And then, they got in that game against Pittsburgh in the playoffs, and they got down early, and they looked like they did not know how to respond to it. And they finally started playing well in the fourth quarter, but by that time their margin of error was 0. And, people talk about that colossal missed field goal by Mike Vanderjagt. And it was a bad miss from a guy who, had won a lot of games for us over the years. But, at the same time, I don't put a lot of emphasis on that kick because the game should have never hinged on Vanderjagt making a 46-yard field goal. We should have won that game. But now, Fishers, Avon knows that it can overcome a multiple, a 2-touchdown deficit. And not only overcome it, but just completely dominate the rest of the way. So certainly I feel even better about our championship chances after that game last night. But we have to remember, at the same time, there has to be balance. We got to remember that while it's great, we know we can make the comeback, we got to also remember comebacks are not always available. Sometimes, we got it against Fishers, but maybe against, say, Center Grove or Warren Central, they would get a 14-0 lead, maybe, do a good ball control offense the rest of the way and be able to contain our offensive attack well enough to keep us from coming back. So let's make sure that now, we play our A-plus game all 48 minutes, no mistakes, no turnovers, and, we are going to have a shot to, go a long way in the tournament this year. And we also have a shot to draw Brownsburg, who we only beat 7-3 a couple of weeks ago, and go out in the first round. So we got to remember both things can happen. And so we got to control our own destiny as much as we can by playing our A-plus game every night. But this time, let's take a look at what happened last night among the other Hendricks County teams. All 5 of them were in action. And let me pull up my scores here. I know that, let me pull up the, let's see, daily score schedules. It was overall a very good night for the county. And let's start off in Class 6A, where your Brownsburg Bulldogs got a very good road win, 34-14 over Westfield. Brownsburg ranked number 6, Westfield 13th. Westfield is our next opponent. It'll be next week here at Avon. Meanwhile, in Class 5A, Plainfield likely to lose their number 10 ranking as they have a close loss to number 12 ranked Decatur Central, 42-38. Heartbreaker for the Quakers, who've now lost 9 consecutive games to the Hawks. And then in class, hold on, and now an onside kick to surprise, and we got it, yes, oh my God, great way to catch him asleep. That was Fincher who came up with it, so it's a surprise onside kick, high risk move, but now we've taken a possession away from the Tigers, and now we have a chance to make it a multiple possession lead. So great play there by the Orioles, great call there, a brave call that pays off. The kind of bold call you see in a state championship contender. So now James Griffith and Brian Wooden lined up to the right. Aiden Chavis and Ahmed Walker lined up to the left. Fincher still there in there at running back. Sherrod in shotgun. 9:58 to go in the third quarter. And now throws deep down the right side. He's going for the touchdown, and it's tipped out of bounds. So anyway, also trying to get let me get to the other scores. Tri-West hung on for a 35-28 win over Lebanon. The Bruins move up to 4-2 on the season now. And meanwhile, so now a handoff there. And he's brought down right around the line of scrimmage. So good job so far by Fishers responding to Avon recovering that onside kick. So a 1 yard loss there by Fincher. So now we got Griffith and Papa lined up to the right. Walker and Chavis lined up to the left. Fincher, the running back. Sherrod in shotgun, 9:17 to go here in the third quarter at Avon. Your score, Avon 14, Fishers 10 in JV action. Takes the snap there. Sherrod looks back, throws up the middle, and it is caught. It was tipped and falls to the ground. It was tipped by an Avon by a Fishers defender, then tipped by Papa and falls to the ground incomplete. So great job by the Fishers defense. And now it's going to be 4th down and 11. So unless we go for it and get it here, then that recovered onside kick will be all for naught. Well, not necessarily, because we could still punt and Fishers end up starting in bad field position, but we'll see. So now same formation for the Orioles. They're going for it on 4th and 11, and now we've got and now Avon taking a timeout, deciding that they really want to go for the kill here and make a good plan and get the first down and keep the drive going, get the 2-possession lead, and really take firm control of this game. So anyway, let's see what else happened last night. Danville also got a win. They beat Southmont 42-0, so the Warriors even at 3-3 now. And finally, our only 2A team in the county, Cascade, got a 43-7 road win down in Spencer at Owen Valley. The Cadets moved to 2-4 on the season, although they have played a very tough schedule, having joined the much tougher Hoosier Crossroads Conference this year. So now, with 9 minutes to go here in the third quarter, Avon 4th and 11, going for it at the Fishers 46. The Orioles having gotten possession on a surprise onside kick to start the second half here. So once again, we've got Chavis and Walker to the left, Papa and Griffith to the right. No, we've got Wooden in there now instead of Griffith. So now Sherrod takes it, thinks about a pass, and now he's going to run with it. No, he throws it. He gets the catch. Is it enough for the first down? No, they ruled it incomplete. So, boy, the Fishers fans across the field, the approximately 40 fans who made the trip from Fishers, about 45 minutes here on a Saturday morning, giving their team a nice ovation there, and it's well-deserved. Sherrod was 0 for 3 on that possession, and Fincher, the only rush, -1 yard, so great job clamping down by the Fishers defense there. And so, and again, negating the effect of that onside kick, which could have been a devastating momentum-building play. Meanwhile, we've got, looks like somewhere in the neighborhood, we have about 100 Avon fans, about 40 Fishers fans here on the Saturday morning game. I think, I noticed that in the past, Avon and Plainfield both played a lot of JV and freshman games on Monday night. Probably most likely get better attendance. But, at the same time, also it's probably easier, with to have the JV games on Saturday morning because you don't interfere with any school time for the kids. So now we near a sack, but Pruitt gets rid of it. He throws deep, intended for McPeak. There was quite a bit of contact, and I think it's going to be pass interference against the Orioles. There was a lot of contact. Pass interference, as I suspected. There was a lot of interference there on the part of Timmy and Wellington. Wellington, 6'2", 160, only a sophomore. So many of these guys, I'm so glad that both Plainfield and Avon have us cover not only their varsity games but also their freshman and JV games. It's great to encourage the fans to get involved, and as a commentator, I love looking at the future of the programs, and the guys who are going to be playing varsity ball in a year or two. So 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right for Fishers, now in good field position at the Avon 34. Handoff there to Oliverio. He's got some room on the right side. He's got the first down and more, and he could go all the way. And did he? I couldn't tell if he stepped out or not.
Number 45 takes a handoff off to the right side. Pushed out of bounds at the 4-yard line.
Okay, so it's they say he's out of bounds at the 4. Nevertheless, that'll be first and goal for the Tigers at the 4, following a 30-yard rush there by Dominic Oliverio. 7 for 79 by my count for Oliverio in this game. So one receiver to McPeak to the left, another receiver to the right. Oliverio, the running back, and now Oliverio gets it again, and he plows forward. He gets it down to the 1 or 2.
Number 45 takes the handoff off to the right side. Pick up a 2, brought down by number 9.
So I give him credit for 2. So I got him Oliverio 8 for 81. 2nd and goal now, and believe it or not, if Fisher scores here, they will have the lead. So now McPeak lining up to the right and Miller to the left. And now handoff to Oliverio again, but they're right on top of him and they bring him down for a loss. Yes. So great recovery there. Great awareness there. So they go to the well one too many times, and it's a loss of 2 yards. So now all of a sudden, 1st and goal goes to 3rd and goal. Boy, that'd be huge if Fishers gets a field goal here, we will still have a 1 point lead. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Oliverio, the running back. Pruitt in shotgun. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws to his left side, and he's got the touchdown. He's got the touchdown to Brady Miller. 2nd touchdown of the game by Pruitt, and Fishers takes the lead. 7:14 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Boy, how things can change quickly. Now we got a player down on the field. Hopefully this is not serious. We had a couple of injuries a couple of injuries last night for Fishers. Both of them, in both cases, the player returned later in the game. Brady Miller. So Brady Miller with his 2nd reception of the game and his 1st touchdown, 4 yards out. And so Pruitt, after a very shaky start in which he only completed one of his first 7 passes, now has completed his last 4, including 2 touchdowns. So nice comeback for that young man, who was briefly thrust into the game in the 3rd quarter last night. And, I commented about how he, when you're a backup quarterback, you dream of getting in, you just wait for your chance. And finally, Pruitt got his chance last night, being thrown into the fire against the number 1 team in the state. And he didn't do much. He was only in there for part of 1 possession, so not much to judge him on. And the injured player for Avon, Austin Mayo, he's a junior, 5'8", 171. He is walking off the field limping, but under his own power, so hopefully it's not serious and he will be back soon. And at that, I'm going to pop open my soda here. They have a really good container full of soda here at Avon. So now we've got Christian Wayne going for the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So with 7:14 to go here in the 3rd quarter, your Avon Orioles suddenly find themselves behind. They trailed the Fishers Tigers by a score of 17-14 here on audiosportsonline.com. Now let's see how they respond to it. And Avon, they had a 14-3 lead, and they had the ball in the red zone but turned it over on downs when they could have taken an almost insurmountable 3-touchdown lead. So Larry Stone and Blake Finch are back deep to receive for the Orioles, while Christian Wayne kicking off now. This is our last broadcast of the month of October. Sure doesn't feel like it. And now it's a touchback. So now let's see how Avon responds to their first deficit of the game. Yeah, it's just been incredible. There have been. I'm 48 years old and a lifelong Hoosier, to put this in perspective, and I think this was the worst summer in my life from a standpoint of just constant, uncomfortably hot days. Now, there were days there were summers in the past where we might have a day or two where it gets to be 100, but then drops down quickly. But this summer we just had relentless 90-degree temperatures. With very few breaks for a couple of months, and now even and now hand off there to and he gets a gain of just about 1 over on the right side. That was Ethan Lathery. They give him credit for 1. 6:48 to go and counting here in the third quarter at Avon. But yeah, I mean, and now we're supposed to have temperatures in the low 90s on the first day of October next year. I don't ever remember a 90-degree day in October in Indiana. I'm not sure there's ever been one. So now handoff again to Lathery, but he only gets another yard. So all of a sudden the play calling getting very conservative for Avon. 6:14 to go. I'd like to see it get a little more adventurous here. There is Shockley coming off the field, replaced by Papa. So now 2 receivers to the left. Griffith to the right. Lathery, the running back. Sherrod in shotgun. Takes the snap. Drops it back. And he dodges a stack. He runs over to his left. But he's hit, and he's brought down for a loss. So apparently Avon will end up 3 and out. So it's a 1-yard loss there by Sherrod. So Carson Holmer now to punt for the Orioles. Got 2 receivers back deep for the Tigers. So now the pressure cranked up on the Avon defense to stop another score here. Certainly a very disappointing drive for the Orioles. It's a high punt, and it's fair caught just inside Fisher's territory at the 48. 4:47 to go in the third quarter. Fisher's with the ball and the lead. Let's see how the Avon defense responds. But certainly a very disappointing start to the Avon offense here in the second half. They started off the half with a surprise onside kick that worked. Then they failed to move the ball, they failed to move the ball. They had 3 incomplete passes and a 1-yard rush for a 1-yard loss, and now they go 3 and out of their next possession with a net gain of 1 yard. So a net gain of 0 yards on 2 possessions so far for the Orioles today. And now to open the drive for Fishers, that's Josh Thompson there, who picks up 3 yards there. But now we got a tackle for a loss there for Thompson. So now they're back 1 yard before. So it's good play for the Avon defense. And they need all the big plays they can get right now. Fishers clearly has the momentum in this one. So it'll be 3rd and 11 for the Tigers here. So just got to get a stop here and get the ball back and then get the off. And now we got and now it's oh my God, he was hit and the ball came out of his hand, but it was caught amazingly for a reception there. Who got the catch? Who got the catch for Fishers? Okay. So I believe that was Heatpus who made the reception there for Avon. So bringing up and yeah, they did give him credit for a first down. So they just, that was a fluke play on which Fishers got a score on a first down there. Excuse me, not a score, thankfully. So now Josh Thompson gets positive yards there, picks up 3. So now a handoff there, and this time he's hit around the line of scrimmage. I believe that was Thompson again. So they're giving Thompson credit for -1 on that. So that'll be 3rd and long now. So big play for the Avon defense, and now it's overthrown there. So it's an incomplete pass. And by the way, that is Jackson Pruitt. Luke. That's Jackson Preston in there. So we got Lucas Pruitt and Jackson Preston, the 2 quarterbacks for Fishers who played in this game. And now a near block on the punt there. And it takes a bounce, and it's down to around the 5 or 6 there by Fishers. So now Avon with 1:31 to go in the 3rd quarter, trailing by 3. So now Avon, they have 0 net yards on 2 possessions here in the second half. They need to get something going here. And but this is good experience for these kids playing in a come from behind situation like this. So Sherrod lines up in shotgun with Fincher, the running back. Did a lot of good things early on. Has been pretty quiet since. And now hand off to Fincher, and he dives up. He got maybe 2 or 3. So Fincher gets credit for 2 yards on that one. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Fincher, the running back. Sherrod in shotgun. 2nd and 8 at the 8 for the Orioles. Give it to Fincher again. This time he's got some room over on the left side. He's got a first down and more. 20, 25, 30, 30, and okay, I couldn't tell where he stepped out of bounds. Apparently, it was around the 32. But yeah, that's the kind of play we desperately needed. So he didn't get as good a spot as I expected, but nevertheless, a 22-yard pickup. We'll take it at this point. First and 10 at the 30. So Griffith lined up to the right now. Chavis to the left. Got some movement at the line, but no call. Now, handoff again. And now a nice hole there. And Fincher gets about 5 more there. 34 seconds to go and counting here in the third quarter. So now 21 seconds to go and counting. Let's see if they try to get another score here in the quarter, or at least another playoff. So now Walker and Chavis to the left, Griffith to the right. Handoff there to Fincher. However, they went to the well one too many times. He's brought down around the line of scrimmage, and that's the end of the third quarter. So your Orioles down to their last 10 minutes to save this game. Your score after 3 quarters of play here at Avon. Fisher 17, Avon 14. We'll be back with the thrilling conclusion after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. State Bank of Liston has 11 locations in and around Hendricks County, with one in Avon located at the Prestwick at the Crossing Shopping Plaza on U.S. Highway 36. More information concerning hours, location, and career opportunities can be found at statebankofliston.com. That's statebankofliston.com. Liston spelled Lizton. And their phone number is 317-745-5138. That's 317-745-5138. State Bank of Liston. For your home loan needs, contact American Mortgage. American Mortgage has been taking care of home loan needs since 1975 in 16 states. Contact your local lender, Dave Peters, with branches in Avon, Carmel, Bloomington, and Greenwood. Well, back here at Avon, we're about to start the fourth quarter of this very, very exciting, very close game in which your Avon Orioles once were on the brink of a 3-touchdown lead, but now find themselves in a 3-point deficit. Coming up with a very critical 3rd down and 4 here at their own 36. Their offense is stalled, and Fisher's offense hasn't, they haven't been stellar, but they've been good, and they've pulled off a couple of big plays that have, put them in the lead. So now 2 receivers to each side. And now Sherrod drops back. Screen pass is complete there, and they got the first down. Okay. Boy, did we ever need that. So nice job there by Sherrod, so that's a 12-yard pickup. Sherrod 7 for 16 in this game. So 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Sherrod in shotgun, 1 running back. Fakes the handoff. Now he takes it himself. He's got room on the right side, past the 50, and he dives. He's past the 45, past the 40, spins around up to about the 39 or 38. So outstanding rush there by Sherrod, taking the bull by the horns. That's a gain of about 13 or 14 yards. Let's see what kind of spot he gets. So yeah, it's a 13-yard gain there by Sherrod. So Sherrod picks up 13 there. Yeah, I have him 5 for 18 on the game. Now it's 1st and 10 at the Fisher's 39. Handoff now to Lathery, who's nearly brought down for a loss, but he dives back to the line of scrimmage. Second and 10 now. Let's get some positive yardage here. So now Avon lined up with Griffith to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Lathery, the running back. Sherrod in shotgun. Now fakes the handoff. He's got some room himself. He's got up past the 35, spins around, breaks a tackle, fumbles, but gets it back, and he's got the first down. Oh my God, that was that was a tense play there, but he does move the chains there. That's a 12-yard, 11-yard gain there by Sherrod. We'll take it. It wasn't pretty, but man, I've seen an incredible result by Sherrod on this drive. 8:07 to go and counting. The Orioles now have it 1st and 10 at the Tigers' 28. Lost the lead early in the third quarter. Excuse me. So now Griffith to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Fakes the handoff, throws up the middle to Shockley. He's got the completion for the first down and more, up to about the 13 or 14. Shockley with his 3rd reception of the game.
First down, Avon.
So let's see. They're marking him down at the 13 there.
Tackle by number 22 for Fishers. It's going to be 1st and 10 on the Fishers 14-yard line.
Sam Shockley, quiet 3 receptions for 48 yards tonight. So now 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Lathery, the running back, screen pass to Lathery. Oh, he falls down. He slips on the turf. All right, just let's shake it off and just, get something going. We're in the red zone, 2nd and 10 at the 13, trailing only by 3. A field goal will tie it. Touchdown will put us over the top. So now we've got Griffith to the left, Papa, Walker, and one other receiver to the right. And now screen pass is complete there to Lathery, but he's taken down for a loss. So the play does not work out. It's going to be about a 2-yard loss. So now all of a sudden 3rd and 12. Disappointing play there. 6:57 to go and counting. So now Walker and one of the receiver to the right, Griffith to the left. Lathery, the running back. Low snap, but Sherrod gets it, throws it to the end zone, and it's just overthrown. So now bringing up a 4th and 12. Let's see, do we go for the tie on the field goal, or do we just go for the first down or touchdown? It is 4th and 12 at the Fishers 15, 6:35 to go. This would be a 32-yard field goal attempt. Looks like they're going for the field goal. So it's a 32-yard field goal attempt. Carson Holmer going for the field goal attempt to tie it. It's a high snap, but he gets the kickoff, and it is good. And we're tied. 6:30 to go. We're still in it. All right. Yes. And that's the first score in the game in more than a quarter's worth of action. The last one coming with 7:14 to go here in the third quarter. So currently the man of the hour here in Avon is Carson Holmer. So just I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at a comment made by the PA guy. He said that the field goal's good and that also the hot dogs at the concession stand are good, and encouraging the fans to go get them so that we don't have to throw them away. So anyway, the fans here, the relatively few fans who showed up are getting their money's worth here. 11:38 your time of day. Now kickoff fielded at the 6, brought up to the 10, 15, 20. He's got a hole, 25, 30, and brought down at the 46. That was Oliverio there.
Number 46 returns the kickoff.
He's so now the pressure cracked up on the Avon defense. Tie game here. And I'll tell you, it's disappointing that Avon didn't put the game away in the first half when they had a chance to, but at the same time, it's good experience for these kids to be in a, not in a practice, but in a real game experience, experiencing a come-from-behind situation. That helps a lot. So now let's see, we've got Pruitt back in there at quarterback. He and Preston have alternated at quarterback today. Pruitt, a sophomore. Pruitt, a junior. Preston, a sophomore. So 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Handoff to Oliverio. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage. He plows his way up, gets a gain of about 1. So it'll be 2nd and long for the Tigers.
The handoff, pickup of 2, brought down by number 37, Sam Shockley. It's going to be 2nd and 8, Fishers at its own 32-yard line. 2nd and 9.
So a gain of 1 yard there by Oliverio. I have him 10 for 80 now. So now we've got Heatpus and 1 other receiver to the left and then 1 receiver to the right. I need to check on the nationality of the name Heatpus. That is a completely new one to me. And now nearly intercepted, but Heatpus catches it, and he's knocked out of bounds. I think it's going to be a yard short of the first. That's his 2nd reception of the game.
Knocked out of bounds by number 25, Timeout Wellington.
So it's a gain of 8 yards there.
Gain of 8. It's going to bring up 3rd and 2.
So Heatpus 2 receptions for 18 yards, and it's 3rd and 1 for the Tigers. And I believe Fishers has just taken a timeout. Yes, they have. So with 5:34 to go in the game, and or at least in the 4th quarter, the game tied 17-17. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. McNamara Florist provides floral designs for all occasions that help its clients express their emotions through flowers and floral giftware. They have 7 locations for service and floral design or selecting home decor merchandise, including Christmas classics. They can also provide floral needs for weddings, home parties, or corporate functions. They can be contacted at 317-579-7900. That's 317-579-7900. Or by visiting their website at McNamaraFlorist.com. That's McNamaraFlorist.com. Well, back here at Avon, we're about to resume play here with the Fishers Tigers having called timeout on a critical 3rd and 1 at their own 40. The game is tied at 17 following a 32-yard field goal by Carson Holmer. Been a very up-and-down game. And now fakes the handoff to Oliverio, and Pruitt just rolls to his left, but it's overthrown. He was trying to connect with Charles Green, who's a sophomore for the Tigers. So that'll bring up a 4th and 1. It would be very, very high risk to go for it here, but let's see what the Tigers do. And of course, sometimes in JV games, you tend to take chances that you wouldn't take in varsity games. So is Fishers taking another timeout? No. So it looks like they are going to punt. Of course, it could be a fake.
Fishers on the punt, number 46 for the Tigers. Back deep to receive for the Orioles, number 3, Andrew Papa.
So Christian Wayne punting for Fishers. Andrew Papa back deep to receive for the Orioles. And we've got Fishers has taken their 2nd timeout. So at that, we'll take a short break here, and then we'll be back with the thrilling conclusion of this game. You're listening to Avon Orioles football on audiosportsonline.com. Reynolds Body Shop is a sponsor of Avon football broadcasts. They are located at 4325 West Washington Street. That's 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone number is 317-243-2372. That's 317-243-2372. And they're open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. They've been family-owned and operated for 30 years, working with individuals and insurance companies for collision repair. More information can be found at reynoldsbodyshop.com. That's reynoldsbodyshop.com. Well, back here at Avon, where we have a very intense finale coming up for this junior varsity football game, in which your Avon Orioles are tied with the Fishers Tigers 17-17. It's been a wild and woolly game of big plays, bad plays, and wild momentum swings. And now Fishers taking the high-risk move of going for it on 4th and 1 at their own 40. Handoff to Oliverio. He's got the first. He's got Tremont on the right side, past the 50, 45, and he's knocked out of bounds around the 42 or 43. Let's see what kind of spot he gets. Nevertheless, a very high-risk move paying off for the Tigers, and they are in Avon territory. And, wow, he got a 20-yard they spotted him up at the 40. That's a 20-yard gain there by Oliverio. That puts him, by my count, up to the 100-yard mark. I have him 11 for 100. A very high-risk move pays off, but then again, like I said, in these JV games, you do tend to take chances that you wouldn't in a varsity game. So now Miller and Heatpuss to the left, McPeak to the right, and now handoff there to Thompson, and he's got some room over on the left side. He gets about 2. 5:13 to go and counting. They did keep him in bounds. And at this point with the game tied, I don't know if that's good or bad, but we'll see. So Thompson did not get as good a spot as I thought. Only 1 yard there. 11:45 your time of day, 4:51 and counting. We could be headed for overtime here. I've only commentated only one high school game of varsity, JV, or freshman that ever went into overtime. That was a game here last year that Avon won. I don't remember the opponent. Westfield, maybe. I'll have to look that up. But now two receivers, and now a screen pass over to the left side, and it is caught by McPeak, who instantly got out of bounds for a gain of about 4. That'll bring up 3rd and 5 for the Orioles. 4:27 to go in the fourth quarter. We're all tied up at 17. So now McPeak to the left, Miller to the right, Thompson the running back, Pruitt under center. Got some movement at the line, and we got a flag. Let's see. So offsides against Avon. That'll move it up 5 yards, and it will result in a first down. So now, 1st and 10 at the 30 for the Tigers. And now we got a huge, we almost got Oliverio for a loss. And, we finally do. Oh, my God. He, we got him down. We had him for about a 4 or 5 yard loss. He got away. Looked like he had some room on the left, but some nice coverage by Avon to stop him. And he ends up being brought down for about a 2 yard loss there. Boy, that was a scary one. So by my count, that takes that puts Oliverio under 100 yards. So now we got Miller and Heatpass to the left, McPeak to the right, Oliverio the running back, Pruitt in shotgun, takes it now, okay, and now throws deep, but it's nowhere close to anybody. I'm not even sure what he was thinking about doing there. But then Pruitt started off only 1 for 7, then completed his next 6, and that was his first incompletion since then. He's now 7 of 14, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. 3:30 to go in the game. 3rd and 12 for the Tigers at the Avon 32. Fishers used their 2 timeouts on back-to-back plays, 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 back at the Avon 40. So now we've got Miller to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Now Oliverio fakes the handoff to Oliverio, and it's brought down for a huge sack. Yes, that's an 8-yard loss there by Pruitt. So that'll bring up 4th and 20 at the 40. So let's see if they go for it or just punt and try to get. He got a better spot than I thought at the 38, but he looked to me like he was down at the 40. But nevertheless, great defensive stop there by the Orioles. So 11:49 your time of day. It's 4th and 18. And it looks like the Tigers are going to go for a punt. Andrew Papa back deep to receive for the Orioles. So assuming that we get possession of the ball here, we will have about 2.5 minutes to do something with it. Of course, it could be a fake. And now nearly a block, but it's kicked in, fielded by Papa just inside the 10, and he's gains about 3 or 4 yards before he's brought down. So Avon will be taken over at about the 12 with 2 timeouts and 2:33 to go. Any score will win it. Well, I really give Avon, the Avon defense, a lot of credit for clamping down like they did there. And so now for Avon, got 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 running back, Sherrod in shotgun. Takes a snap, drops back. Screen pass complete over to Lathry. He's got some room. He's got, does some nice weaving there. He gets a first down and more up to about the 27. So that's a gain of about 15 yards there. They're marking him at the 27. So Lathry with his 3rd reception of the game. So 1st and 10 at the 27. 2:10 to go. Avon 73 yards away from victory here. Takes the handoff. Gives it now to Lathry. And he gets up for about 4 or 5. 1:56 to go. So now for 2nd and 5 at the 32. 1:45 to go. Avon having not stopped the clock yet on this drive. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Now high snap, but he gets it to Lathry, who gets up the middle. He's going to be stopped about a yard or 2 short of the first down, so we'll bring up 3rd and short. 1:27 to go. Let's see if they take the timeout. They mark the ball right at the 35, making it 3rd and 2. And now we've got an injury timeout. A Fishers player is down. And while I take no delight in the Fishers injury, it does stop the clock and preserve one of the 2 timeouts that the Orioles might have otherwise used then. So let me catch my breath here and brace myself for the thriller of a finish coming up. We're still tied at 17 with 1:17 to go in the game. Avon has the ball 3rd and 5 at their own 35, and the injured player for Fishers, that's number 54, Jack Backley. He is a junior, 5'9", 195, walking off the field groggily but under his own power. Hopefully it is not serious. So now got Griffith lined up to the to the right. Chavis and another receiver to the left. So now, screen pass completed, but he's brought down for a loss to Lathery, about a 3-yard loss. They were right on top of him, so that'll bring up 4th down, and Fishers might take their timeout here to preserve the clock. That would be their last. Yeah, Fishers takes their last timeout after a 3-yard loss there on the pass from Sherrod to Lathery, excuse me. So, looks like we're playing for overtime here. So they were hoping that Lathery would get the 3 yards and, we'd get the first down, stop the clock to move the chains, if not, if he didn't get out of bounds. But now, as it is, so we're going to have to punt here. This would be a very high risk to go for a fake here. So, thriller of a game is, this has really been, I was thrilled by Avon's win last night, but as far as a down-to-the-wire thriller, this certainly tops last night when Avon, after a sloppy first half, ran away with it with an extremely, extremely good second half. Oh, my God, are they going for it here? On 4th and 3. They got 2 receivers to each side. Lathery, the running back, Sherrod in shotgun, drops back. And he looks like he's not sure what he wants to do. He scrambles, throws to the right. It's caught. We got the first down. Yes. Oh, my God. Brian Griffith, and he takes it into Fisher's territory. Extremely high-risk move, paid off. Again, I don't think that would have been done in a varsity game, but, wow, what a thriller it was. Wow. Well, if we come back to win, that's, that's, one of the pivotal plays right there with Brian Griffith, his first reception of the game coming out of perfect time. 1st and 10 at the Fishers 45 now, 31 seconds to go. And now it's screen pass. He's got, oh my God. Griffith dropped that one. He should have had it. I think he got excited about running, too quickly and just didn't concentrate enough to get the grip. My perception anyway, could be wrong, but I think that happens a lot in situations like that. So 25 seconds to go. Still very likely headed for overtime here, but, Avon, their prospects look a little better than they did a minute or so ago. And they still have 2 timeouts, so that gives them, the freedom to work the whole field. So 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. 1 running back, Sherrod in shotgun. The snap. Drops back. Got good coverage. He rolls over to his left. He's got some room, and he gets up to the 35. He's got the first down, knocked out of bounds. So we stop the clock, 17 seconds to go, and preserve the timeouts. So Sherrod's had some good moments on the ground tonight. They give him credit for 11 on that one. They mark it there at the 34. I have Sherrod 7 for 40 on the ground tonight. 11:56 your time of day. So we got 34 yards to go, 17 seconds, 2 timeouts. Griffith to the to the right, Chavis to the left. Lathery, the running back. Now Shockley and Walker. Shockley coming out of the game now. Low snap, but he gets it. And now he's going to run it again, and he gets out of bounds at about the 30. But they did use 6 seconds on that one. So Sherrod takes it down to the 30. So now we do have 2 timeouts left, and we're going to take one of them here, trying to set something up here. And and keep in mind, we do. It's okay if we throw it, in up the middle of the field because we do have that timeout left. So certainly, and I'll tell you, knowing that that Holmer hit the 32-yard field goal earlier in this game, what I would do here is I would try to get about a 15, 20-yard pass up the middle and to set up what would be the game-winning field goal. But anyway, we'll see what happens here. Certainly, and again with that timeout left, you have a full range of options. So, and that's why it's so important to save your timeouts for the last 2 minutes when you really need them, and not squander them, on miscommunication and not being clear about things.
11 seconds left to go. Avon's going to go.
So now we got Chavis and Griffith lined up to the right, Walker to the left. Lathry, the running back, Sherrod in shotgun. 11 seconds to go, 30 yards for the win. Let's do this, boys. Snap. He rolls over to his left up to the 25, and he's knocked out. He runs out of bounds at about the 22, 6 seconds to go. This will be a 39-yard field goal from here. We do have the option of maybe trying to do about a 3 or 4 second play where we get 3 or 4 yards and get Holmer better position for the field goal. They didn't give him as good a spot as I thought. They only marked him at the 23. Nevertheless, nice effort by Sherrod. 6 seconds to go. So we're going to have to try to get a few yards and then get that timeout immediately. And we've got a. So Avon, okay, they did take the timeout. Maybe we were just trying to draw Fisher's offsides in the hope that we would get a 5 free yards. So let's see. It looks like they're going to go for a 40-yard game-winning field goal. 6 seconds to go. Holmer did hit a 32-yarder to tie it earlier in this quarter. Let's see. So both teams have used all their timeouts. Left 12 o'clock your time of day. So what a thriller this early morning game has been. And so now Fishers returns to the field here. Fishers is out of timeouts too, so they can't, they can't stop the clock here to try to, make Holmer nervous. So, this is for the game. The snap. The kick is, and it's blocked. It's blocked. So, 1 second left on the clock. So, Fishers will have one play from scrimmage and one play to go 70 yards. And we're likely headed to overtime. I knew it was a high-risk play. I just wish we had if we could have just gotten 5 or 10 more yards. I really wish we would have, with 6 seconds left, gone for a quick screen pass to try to get even another 5 yards and then a quick timeout. I didn't think he had much chance from 40. So Fisher's taking over at the 20. So let's see, will they go for the touchdown or will they just, the quarterback's in shotgun, so apparently they're going to try something here. So fakes the handoff. Pruitt, screen. He's got a man open on the left side. It's caught by Oliverio, and he's brought down after a 26-yard gain. So that will pad the stats of those two young men. But it'll have no effect on the game as we head for overtime. A 26-yard pickup there. So we will go to overtime here. Tied at 17. And now the officials are deliberating now. All 4 officials are deliberating near the center of the field. Not sure what the issue is. Somebody here questioned if overtime is played in JV ball, and somebody here in the press box, but at least it was last year. I assume it still is. So now we've got the captains coming up to the center of the field for the coin toss. And it's conventional wisdom that in overtime you want to have the ball second so you'll know what you have to do. So for those of you who don't know, it's basically it's not a sudden death system like it is in the NFL. You play a series of each team alternates possessions, I believe, from the opponent's 10 until somebody is ahead at the end of one turn. So each team always gets the ball the same number of times. So I see Fisher celebrating, so I assume they've won the toss and elected to take the ball second. And, I really wish they would go to the sudden death system. One thing I hate about the college and high school overtime system is that it so badly overinflates scores. So now we start overtime. I believe they started off at the 10. They start at the 25 in college. I've only attended 2 college games that went into overtime, and they were both thrillers. One of them you very well might have seen. It was it was Florida State at Louisville back in 2002. It was the ESPN Thursday night game of the week. Fisher's getting the ball first. Okay, so now let's see. We've got Miller over to the right. Heat Pass and McPeak to the left. Oliverio, the running back. Pruitt in shotgun, hands off to Oliverio. He takes it over to the right side, and he's down to about the 3 or 4. So Oliverio, they mark him down at the 3 there. I have him 13 for 105 in this game. So now Heat Pass and Miller to the left, McPeak to the right. Oliverio, the running back. Pruitt under center here. Takes a snap, drops it back, throws into the end zone. It's intercepted! Intercepted! Oh, very poor decision there by Pruitt. First interception of the game by either team. Now any score will win it for Avon. A very poor throw there by a very poor decision to throw in that situation there by Pruitt. He threw it into very good coverage. So definitely, that young man's played a pretty good game, but certainly that play could cost him the game there. So now Avon takes over at the 10. Any score could win. Yeah, it's second and goal at the 3. You just got to be more conservative than that. Only throw to a guy who's wide open. Or maybe fake to Oliverio, and then run the other way, and see if you got a clear path to run it in yourself or somebody open in the end zone. So now, let's see. We got Chavis and Griffith to the right, one receiver to the left, Lathry the running back, and now he's trying to take it himself. Sherrod down. He dives to the end zone. He's down at about the 2. So Sherrod has us knocking on the door of the win here. An 8-yard gain there. So we have 3 plays to knock it in 2 yards. So now we've got Walker and Chavis lined up to the left, Griffith to the right. Now Fincher back in there at running back. And Sherrod in shotgun. Let's take this home, boys. The snap. Gives it off to Fincher. Touchdown! Avon wins! Avon wins in overtime. Blake Fincher is the hero, taking it in 2 yards. Oh, my God. What a great come-from-behind win for the Orioles. Fincher with his second touchdown of the game. He finishes 12 for 84. So, they don't make it easy on our hearts, but your Avon Orioles come from behind in the fourth quarter, tie the game, and then get a big victory in overtime. Your final score here at Avon, Avon 23, Fisher 17. We'll be back with a recap and a look ahead to Friday night's varsity showdown against Westfield after these final words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. State Bank of Liston has 11 locations in and around Hendricks County. Their 24-hour banking phone number is 317-994-5181. That's 317-994-5181. More information concerning hours, location, and career opportunities can be found at statebankofliston.com. That's statebankofliston.com. Liston is spelled L-I-Z-T-O-N. That's L-I-Z-T-O-N, State Bank of Liston. For your home loan needs, contact American Mortgage. American Mortgage has been taking care of home loan needs since 1975 in 16 states. Contact your local lender, Dave Peters, with branches in Avon, Carmel, Bloomington, and Greenwood. Well, back here at Avon for a final time this afternoon, where your Avon Orioles have just gotten a very thrilling and dramatic victory. After losing the lead early in the third quarter, they come back to tie it in the fourth and then get the win in overtime by a score of 23-17. It was a wild and woolly game full of wild plays, big plays, bad plays, and crazy momentum swings. With 4:58 to go in the first quarter, Blake Fincher opened the scoring for Avon on a 14-yard touchdown rush. Carson Holmer hit the extra point, making it 7-0. And then with 36 seconds to go in the quarter, Patrick Belay hit a 29-yard field goal for Fishers, cutting the lead to 7-3. Then on the first play of the second quarter, quarterback J.D. Sherrod threw a 67-yard touchdown pass to Brian Wooden, and Tyler Pelly this time hit the extra point, making it 14-3. And however, late in the second quarter, Fishers finally got their offense going and made it a one-possession game on a 63-yard touchdown pass from Luke Pruitt to Colin McPeak, and Belay's extra point cut the lead to 14-10. Then, after Avon opened the second half with a surprise onside kick that worked, the Orioles turned it over on downs, and gaining -1 yard on 4 plays. And then Fishers took their first lead of the game when Pruitt connected on a 4-yard touchdown pass to Brady Miller. Christian Wayne hit the extra point, making the score 17-14. And then that was all the scoring we had until, with 6:30 to go in the fourth quarter, Carson Holmer hit a 32-yard field goal for Avon to tie it at 17. And then late in regulation, Holmer was no good from 40 yards. And then Fishers got the ball first in overtime and got the ball down to the 3, but then in a very poor decision, quarterback Nick Pruitt threw the ball into excellent coverage. It was intercepted in the end zone. And then overtime began. Avon began their overtime possession with an 8-yard keeper by J.D. Sherrod that got the ball down to the 2, and then on the next play he gave the ball to Blake Fincher, who took it in for the touchdown and giving Avon the win. A look at the individual statistics. First of all, for Avon, J.D. Sherrod completed 12 of 24 passes for 199 yards, 1 touchdown and no interceptions. Brian Wooden had 1 reception for 67 yards and a touchdown. Sam Shockley had 3 receptions for 48 yards. Ethan Lathery had 4 for 22. Brian Griffith 1 for 29. Blake Fincher 1 for 19. Andrew Papa 1 for 16. And Aiden Chavis 1 for 7. On the ground, Blake Fincher led the way with 12 rushes for 84 yards and 2 touchdowns, followed by J.D. Sherrod with 10 rushes for 58 yards, Ethan Lathery 8 for 11, and Brian Wooden 1 for 0. Meanwhile, for Fishers, Lucas Pruitt completed 8 of 15 passes for 115 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Jackson Preston completed 2 of 3 passes for 13 yards. In receiving, Colin McPeak had 1 reception for Colin McPeak had 2 receptions for 67 yards and 1 touchdown. Brady Miller had 2 receptions for 16 yards and 1 touchdown. Dominic Oliverio had 3 receptions for 29 yards. Joe Heatpass had 2 for 18, and Josh Thompson had 1 for -2. On the ground, Dominic Oliverio had 13 receptions for 105 yards. Josh Thompson had 8 for -2. Lucas Pruitt had 3 for 2, and Jackson Preston had 1 for -1. So in conclusion, this is a game in which, for the most part, Avon played well. The fumble, on the opening, the fumble by Wooden on the first play from scrimmage was bad, although he certainly came back and redeemed himself with that 67-yard touchdown reception. And then after that, the third quarter certainly was it was a disappointment, first of all, that when we had the ball in the red zone with a 14-3 lead late in the second quarter, and we're about to take what would have been an almost insurmountable three possession lead, that we turned the ball over on downs there at the 12, and then let Fishers get back into the game. And then it was just a disappointment that on our first 2 possessions of the third quarter, we got a combined zero net yards, and of course, making it even worse is that in doing so, we squandered the surprise onside kick that was successful to start the second half. But other than that, we played very well, and then I especially liked the way that quarterback J.D. Sherrod really took the bull by the horns and really had this incredible resolve to lead the comeback. And, I mean, he played like a man on a mission, much like Henry Hessen did last night, and really did an outstanding job showing a lot of leadership. So I give Fishers, I give Avon a B for their performance in this game. And I give them I give them a very solid A for their performance in the fourth quarter and overtime. They really overcame a lot of their early mistakes and played with a lot of heart and a lot of passion, showing how much they really want to win, even though this was a JV game. And then certainly, the converting that very risky 4th and 3 there. Even though that drive ended up not producing any points, when we had it 4th and 3 at our own 32 late in the fourth quarter and went for it and made it, even though the drive ended with the missed field goal by Holmer, it very well might have saved the game for us in that it kept Fishers from Fishers did not get the ball back after that until there was 1 second left, and they had 80 yards to go. So overall, heck of a game. Not a perfect performance, but we played with so much heart and also showed a lot of promise for the future of this program. J.D. Sherrod, only a freshman, 3 more years to grow and mature. Very well. I now have him, penciled in as a very possible starter for 2 years from now after Henry Hessen graduates and moves on to a high-level college. And another thing I like, we had 8 guys who caught passes today and 4 guys who had carries. So, it was a great team effort. It would be hard for me to give, when in doubt for the game ball, it's usually a safe pick to go with the quarterback. If I had to give one, I'd probably give it to Sherrod, but this was absolutely a team win. And so, following, after, coming from behind in the second half 2 nights in a row against, a consistently top 10 program, Fishers, you got to feel so much pride, and you see why Avon has come as far as they have and why they've been the number 1 team in the state the last 4 years. Now, granted, this game today was a JV game, but what happens, I always say, what happens in a game, 95% of it has been decided in advance. Most of what happens in the game is simply a reflection of what's happened leading up to the game. All the years you've been, working hard, and then, all the practices and, the off-season workouts and everything. That's most of what determines who wins the game. So, when you're the number 1 team in the state, it's, largely because of, your JV and freshman teams, and your, middle school teams have been so good for so many years. And your youth football program that you develop the talent so well. So definitely, a lot of guys who I'm going to be looking forward to seeing, on the varsity team later this year, including probably some Friday night. And speaking of which, our next varsity game will be right here at Avon next Friday night against Westfield, currently the number 13 ranked team in Class 6A. the Shamrocks were not much of a factor in football until this decade when they became a Class 5A superpower, reaching the Class 5A state championship game in 2013, and then getting back in fact, in 2013 they lost to Cathedral in an all-Irish nickname matchup, the Cathedral Fighting Irish versus the Westfield Shamrocks. Then in 2016, 3 years later, Westfield won the Class 5A state championship. And then the next year moved up to Class 6A where they remain, and they've been very competitive there. Like I said, currently ranked number 16 there in number 13 in their class with a 4-2 record. The starting quarterback for the Shamrocks is senior Camden Simons, a very big college prospect. Going into last night's game, he had completed 63 of 91 passes. That's an outstanding 69.2%. for 1,015 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He has a core of 3 receivers led by junior Mason Pining, also a major college prospect. He's completed 20 of 426 passes. That's an incredible 21.4 yards per reception and 3 touchdowns. Also, Dane Wheeler has 16 receptions for 253 yards and 3 touchdowns. And junior Reed Shepard, 9 receptions for 126 yards and 1 touchdown. Then on the ground, Westfield also does very well. They have a batch of 4 rushers with over 100 yards on the season, led by senior Eli Patchett with 75 receptions for 411 yards and 7 touchdowns. Senior Camden Simons, the quarterback, has 42 rushes for 235 yards and 3 touchdowns. Junior Jack Pfeiffer has 29 rushes for 165 yards and 2 touchdowns. And sophomore Micah Hauser, 23 receptions for 161 yards and 3 touchdowns. So anyway, we're supposed to have a very pleasant evening with the weather that night. It should be the coolest game of the year. It's supposed to be 79 degrees. It's 79 degrees right now. It's supposed to be 66 for the high on on Friday. So I hope you all will come out here. Probably it'd be a good idea to have a sweatshirt and a light jacket. So it should be a very pleasant evening, also for the players too. And we should get a win over Westfield, but like I said, ranked 13th, so you certainly don't count them out. If we don't play our A game and Westfield gets a couple of breaks, certainly they'll have a shot to win it. So, I expect we'll win, but, you don't want to take it for granted. Anyway, I'll be here commentating that one. Hope you all will get out here and we'll hopefully get, 4,000 or 5,000 or more crazed Oriole fans to support these kids. And the game will be broadcast. It will be an audio broadcast here on audiosportsonline.com. So, hopefully you will, come to the game or listen, on Audio Sports Online, or do both. You can come to the game and listen to Audio Sports Online on your mobile device. And if you see me up in the press box, the guy with the ginger hair, just feel free to come up and say, "Hey, man, how's it going?" I always love to meet the fans. And I'm just greatly honored to be, an honorary. Even though I'm not from here, I went to Madison Consolidated High School in the southeastern part of the state. Nevertheless, greatly honored to be an honorary part of the Avon family, and that it's a great, vibrant community. In the school here, just has such a model athletic program, and just a lot of great people involved here. So it's just a pleasure to meet you all and commentate your games. Hopefully I do them justice. I'm not the greatest commentator in the world. I always say I'm a fan first, commentator second. I can't break down the games and analyze them like John Madden, but nobody loves Indiana high school football more than I do, and it's just such a great pleasure to be part of this Avon program, and hopefully I'll be with you all for many years and many championships. So anyway, once again, your final score this afternoon here at Avon. Your Avon Orioles, in a thriller, come from behind in the fourth quarter and beat the conference rival Fishers Tigers 23-17 in overtime. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and I cordially invite you to do so again on Friday night at 6:45 p.m. for the pregame show as your number 1 ranked Avon Orioles challenge the number 13 ranked Westfield Shamrocks in Week 7 of the Indiana high school football season. Until then, for Audiosportsonline.com, this is Lec Zorn reminding you there is a difference only you can make.